Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian here with DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about the Alien arcade games. Now, if you've been following our reviews as of late, then you know I'm strictly sticking to Alien only, so I'm not including any of the Alien vs. Predator games because, quite frankly, there's enough of them to warrant their own reviews. Now, full disclaimer, obviously, to capture the footage for some of these games, I used a MAME emulator, and the rest, unfortunately, I was not able to play. However, I still wanted to cover every Aliens arcade game that I could find. So, let's jump in and see what's available. Alright, let's get this review started with the first Aliens arcade game, titled Aliens. Released in 1990, this was developed and published by Konami. Loosely based on the 1986 masterpiece, the game will have you playing as a now blonde-haired Ripley, who is even shown as blonde in this awesome flyer. And your mission is to find Newt and kill that bitch of a queen. The game is basically universally loved, and it's for a good reason. It is a shit ton of fun. The game looks and sounds great, which is no shock because Konami was on a roll with their games during this period. You have a wide variety of multicolored Xenos to contend with, and you got a few weapons to finish them off, which include the smart rifle, a flamethrower, but for some reason this acts more like a spread gun, and the missile launcher, which has two varieties itself. The soundtrack is perfectly appropriate for a game like this, and while no one song stands out, it all just sounds rad. As you move from level to level, you will face various bosses, which are all fun and different in some ways. And there will even be a shift in gameplay types, switching from a side-scrolling shooter to a vertical shooter. I love all the details in these levels, especially this level with all the bodies on the wall. But my favorite level has to be the one that allows you to use the motion tracker, since you can now anticipate where the aliens are going to pop out from, so you're not just mindlessly moving forward and shooting. The final level is a nice recreation of the battle with the Queen in the loader. Yeah, take that, you bitch. This game controls perfectly. Now, as I already mentioned, I'm using a MAME and I was using a PS4 controller. I had zero issues with input lag, so it's pretty damn near perfect to me. Overall, this is a really fun game, and whenever I think about it, I always remember the colors of both the enemies and these levels. If you haven't already played this one, then it is a must-try. Next, we have Alien 3: The Gun, which is a horrible title for a game. I get it, you use a gun. But come on, let's be a little more creative with these names. Anyway, this was released in 1993 and was developed and published by Sega. The game follows two Marines who are sent to the USS Sulaco that ends up crash landing on Fury 161. So the setting is the same as Alien 3, but the rest is basically new. You're going to face off against hordes of xenomorphs, such as runners, facehuggers, drones, warriors, and even some random robots. There's even one boss battle that reminds me of the T2 arcade game battle. Oh, and the final alien is basically like a T-1000. So this feels very inspired by the Terminator games. The game looks pretty good, but only in certain parts. The enemies all have a lot of great detail, and some of the outdoor levels look kinda cool, especially with the rain and fog effects. But once you're indoors, everything kind of feels bland. The sound is mostly forgettable, since you will primarily be hearing the gunfire. However, the little bit of soundtrack and alien effects that come through, they all sound fine. The control is a tough spot, since I'm obviously not playing on a cabinet, so using a controller for a gun game is always going to be an issue. The game can be fun, but at the end of the day, it makes me wish I was a kid and could be playing this in the arcade like I used to, because it just doesn't translate well on MAME. So if you have love for the franchise and want to get a different view of Alien 3, then this is the game for you. But it's definitely not a must-play. Now, the next 3 games are all the ones that I have not played because they are either not available for emulation or are just too damn confusing to set up. But I still wanted to cover all of the Alien arcade games, so we are going to start with Aliens Extermination. Released in 2006, this was developed and published by Global VR. Now, I can remember seeing this cabinet at a Dave & Buster's in Philly, and I possibly even played it. But otherwise, I don't have much I can remember, so really watching this footage, it looks like a standard gun game. The graphics are not overly impressive, and there's a sort of cartoonish approach to the Xenos. Otherwise, it looks fine. The sound seems okay, but the one thing that stands out to me is the constant motion tracker noise. Now, I am a sucker for using motion trackers in Alien games. I think it gives it a certain charm. But this is just overdone, as it seems to always be going off during this game. Since I can't give much input to the control or gameplay, you all let me know if you have had a chance to try it out. And hey, if you have an extra $10K sitting around, you can pick this one up from Walmart once it's back in stock. Next, we have Aliens Armageddon that was released in 2014 by Raw Thrills Incorporated. And hey, this one may be available for the cheap price of only $79.95. So, yeah. Now, I will say, this is one of the coolest looking Aliens cabinet I have seen. And there's a lot of great lighting going on in the marquee, and I like the red theme. It really makes this one stand out. The game is very similar in style and gameplay to the Terminator Salvation arcade game, but this has a little bit more voice acting and it features a different style HUD. The plot is actually kind of interesting, as the Xenos are now on Earth and you're playing a Marine who must defeat them. Outside of Aliens vs. Predator, this is the only Alien game I can think of to take place on Earth, so that's a really cool concept. The aliens all look great, but the main theme I'm taking away from this footage is that there is a whole lot of flying Xenos, which is just a terrifying concept. The models actually kind of remind me of the creatures from Pitch Black, but I'm digressing. I do like the look of seeing your gun in front of you, and the sound is all good. The overall presentation is probably the best I've seen for any of these arcade games. Now, once again, I haven't played this game, although I really want to, so hopefully some local arcades still have a cabinet for me to try out. Or if you want to donate one to us, our P.O. box is below. The next game isn't worth diving too deep into because Alien Covenant is literally a reskin of the Alien Armageddon cabinet. By changing the colors from red to green and the name, the studio was hoping that this would help promote the movie Alien Covenant. So this re-release happened in 2017, and like I said, it is the exact same game with just a different color scheme. I've never heard of this happening before. Maybe it's pretty common, but that's really odd to me. And the final game I'm going to cover in this video is Alien Descent, which was released in 2018. It was developed by Pure Imagination Studios in partnership with Fox Next Destinations. Now, this is a completely wireless VR experience that allowed up to 4 players to move freely around the stage carrying their VR weapon of choice. The game premiered at Alien Day, which is a yearly celebration of the Aliens franchise that takes place on April 26th. Why the hell I never heard of this until this video is beyond me. Now, unfortunately, images and videos are just not that easy to come by, but this was only available for a limited time after it premiered, so unless you know someone in the company, you'll probably never get to see this one. Alright everyone, well I hope you enjoyed the video. I was actually shocked when I decided to go through all the Alien arcade games. I thought for sure there'd be a whole lot more. And like I said, I know if you included Alien vs. Predators, then we have a lot more variety. Still, the 2 games I was able to emulate are pretty damn fun, especially the Aliens arcade game. All the other ones, hopefully one day we can get a good emulation. Until that day, maybe an arcade near you has them and you should try it out. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you comment and like below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe because we would love the support. Till next time guys, cheers.